Hello everyone, welcome to ShopDev. So in this video we are going to have a look at anonymous methods in C#. So let's start by our classic way of proceeding with an introduction. So this is a simple example of a anonymous method implementation. Okay, so basically I have a delegate, okay, with two parameters x and y for a math operation. Okay, this is a delegate declaration, and I have a multiply method. Okay, so the classic way of using delegates is to create a new instance of a delegate and make that delegate point to your method that you want to use, and hence you invoke that delegate instance, which calls the multiply method in this case. An alternative way of doing things is using of an anonymous method. Okay, so this is an implementation of an anonymous method where my delegate instance is pointing to an anonymous method. Okay, so this anonymous method, it has some properties where it doesn't have a name, it just have a body. Okay, and when you assign a delegate instance to a anonymous method, it must respect the same parameter list as the delegate it is pointing to. Okay, so by definition, an anonymous method doesn't have a name, just have a body, and the return type is inferred from the return statement in the body. So here you don't have any return type as compared to this method where the return type is integer. Here the return type is inferred. Okay, and anonymous methods must always be assigned to a delegate. Okay, they can also be used for event handlers. We'll see an example in the coming minutes. And anonymous methods, if declined inside a function, they can access variable or parameters outside in the outer method, or they can access like class instance variables. Okay, so this was a quick demonstration, so we can have a look at this in a C# program. So let's start. So first I will just declare my delegate declaration. Okay, so that's it. So my delegate, math operation delegate, with two parameters of integer type x and y. And now I will declare a private static function just to multiply the numbers. Okay, and hence I will create a delegate instance and point it to the multiply method. Okay, so what I'm doing here is my delegate instance is pointing to my multiply method, and I'm multiplying 5 by 3. So when I call this, when this line of method is executed, so the corresponding multiply method will be executed. So let's debug and see how it functions. It will help us for comparison purposes when we write anonymous methods. Okay, so here I'm going to call my delegate function. Okay, so multiplication, and output should be displaying 15. So here on my screen I can see 15. Okay, sounds good. Now we'll mimic the same thing, but this time with a anonymous method. So I'll just have an example already. So I've declared a single delegate instance pointing to an anonymous method. So like I said, so the definition parameter list should respect that of the delegate being used. Okay, so here it has 2 parameters of integer type, so I'm also using 2 parameters of integer type. Okay, and my implementation, notice it is inside my function where it is being used. Okay, and here next line I'll be just calling that method, okay, internally. So when this line is executed, so the corresponding body of the anonymous method will be executed. So we can check an example. Okay, so just put a breakpoint here and run the program simply. Okay, so this is the first call of the previous delegate. Okay, I just removed that breakpoint. Okay, so see, this method has not been executed, and now when I call that instance, it will execute the anonymous method. So see the breakpoint pointing to the body of the anonymous method executed, and hence I should see 15 in both cases. So that's it. It's a simple concept of anonymous methods. So let's proceed with our anonymous method explanation. Okay, so where it can also be used, it can be used for event handlers. Okay, so this is a simple example. I'm using the timer component, okay, and splitting in interval of 1 second. This is in terms of milliseconds, 1000 milliseconds. And instead of writing an event handler like this one, okay, I'm just writing a console.write line. So I'm just writing a anonymous method to execute the body of the elapse event. Okay, and after I start, it should be saying elapse on the screen. So let me explain with an example. Let me clean up. So I'll just declare my timer component. Okay, first step, and hence I will define the properties and event handler. Okay, so my timer component, I initialize it to 1 second. It will be elapsed, so this event will be triggered every 1 second. Okay, okay, so let's put a breakpoint and check whether it is executed. Okay, so put the breakpoint at the right place after the start event. So we execute it. So now I will trigger the start and see, after each second it is being triggered exactly as expected. So the elapse event is working, and you can see on the console output it is being displayed elapse time. Okay, so that was an example with an event handler, how we can use it in your C# programs. Okay, next point is about the limitations of anonymous methods. So I've explained, so I take an example, explain 2 scenarios. So this is how you can use an anonymous method inside another method. Okay, and here in this case I have 2 variables. Okay, 2 parameters, and you can see that the parameters, this is just for the purpose of demo. I can use them inside the body of my anonymous method. Okay, but there's one limitation that you should take care of when designing your program, is that if the outer parameter, okay, is a reference or an out parameter, you cannot make use of them inside your anonymous method. And C# compiler indicates you that you cannot use ref and out in parameter, okay, inside anonymous method, lambda expression, query, or local function. Okay, so this is a precaution that you should take care of. Okay, I can show you exactly how it works with the compiler. Okay, so here I have my delegate missing. Just a simple example. Okay, so my delegate defined, and now the compiler clearly says to you that this variable is a ref, so cannot use it, and for this one it is an out parameter, cannot use it. But if you remove the out and ref parameters, so the compiler that has no issues with it, you can clearly make use of it. So that's it for the anonymous methods. So to wind up, let's have a look at the key points so we just explored. So anonymous method is just a method without a name but a body. Okay, and second point is that the return type is inferred by a return statement. So this might be confusing because people might say that, yeah, I'm using an anonymous method, but how do we know the return type? So just be clear that it is inferred. Okay, and anonymous method must always be assigned to a delegate and can be used as an event handler. We just saw an example with the timer, and you can access variable parameters of outer methods but not out and ref parameters. Okay, so that's it guys for the anonymous method. So if you like the video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.